we have my Week 9 Lions Watch is here, and it was a hard list for me this week. It truly was. It was a harder list for me this week simply because we had a lot of players out, so you can put a lot of players on this list, especially with having 4 people essentially elevated / signed to the 53-man roster from the practice squad today. So it was a hard list to make. Not a long list, it was just a hard list to make out of the choices that I had. But you see the first one on the thumbnail is Tim Patrick. I expect Tim Patrick to have a big game if Jaire Alexander is going to be ruled out. And he did not practice all week, I believe. So I believe Jaire Alexander will be ruled out. I think he's doubtful for this upcoming game. He's questionable or doubtful, but he's probably going to be out. So I do expect Tim Patrick to have his best game as the Detroit Lion if Jaire Alexander is out. So he is somebody to watch, in my opinion, with Jaire Alexander out. If McKinney's going to be covering him, I don't know. Eric Stokes maybe. So Tim Patrick I'm going to be keeping a close eye on for a big game and just in general. Another one is Al-Quadin Muhammad. I believe he had 6 pressures last week, led the team. He looked very good out there, looked very fast, very strong, looked very good in general. I mean, he just looked like a very good defensive end out there last week, so I'm going to see if he can continue that up. And if he gets just 1 sack this week or continues the production he had last week, I do think he'll get signed to the 53-man roster next week, regardless if we make a trade, which I fully expect, as I'm going to go over later in the video. Kind of some breaking news that just happened. My third player, this could be a shocker to some of you. I don't think I've ever had this position of one player in a Lions Watch before, but Taylor Decker, I'm going to be watching closely to him. He has been struggling massively this past couple weeks, I believe allowing 4 or 5 sacks within the past 2 or 3 games. He's been struggling a lot of 2 sacks to Arden Key last week. So I'm going to be keeping a close look to Taylor Decker, especially when he's going against a very good defensive front and Preston Smith, who I still think I would like the Detroit Lions to trade for. He potentially could be on the trade block. I doubt it, but he could be. He's a very underrated player. So they got Preston Smith over there. They got Kenny Clark. They got the really good uprising player and Devontae Wyatt. So they got some good pieces on that defensive line that can rush the pass. They got second-year player Lucas Van Ness as well. So Taylor Decker, it's gonna be a struggle for him this week, I think, unfortunately. But I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on him for sure. My fourth player is absolutely, I mean, you probably don't, some Lions fans probably don't even know he's on the team, and that is Pat O'Connor. He is another big guy I'm watching this week. I actually was saying to myself during, Tuesday, Wednesday, that there's a chance he's healthy scratch and even released this upcoming game before I saw the first injury report, because I'm like, is he really making that big of an impact? And I want to put this out there. I'm putting this out there one more time. And one more time, Kyle Peko was a huge, huge loss. I don't understand why people are acting like he was nobody. He was a huge, massive loss. Kyle Peko, very undersized defensive tackle in terms of height, but he's a very good nose tackle. He can rush the passer. He's a pretty fast defensive tackle for how much he weighs. He's a very solid defensive tackle. I do understand from watching his tape during the season and even with a little bit with the Titans why he started 11 games last year and why we brought him in, besides the fact that he had a relationship with Terrell Williams. So he was a huge loss, and Pat O'Connor has been solid replacing him, but you can clearly tell when you watch the film he is not Kyle Peko. So I want to put that out there one more time. We got to find a Kyle Peko replacement. Pat O'Connor is not it. Maybe Chris Smith can be it, but you know how I feel about him. There aren't very many good defensive tackles available. Like I said before, I'd go get Tyson Alualu, even though he's 38 years old now. He looked very solid last year with the couple games he played with us. He should have had 2 sacks on the season and only played 5 games for us because he had one, I think, in Week 18 that they didn't count. They called it an incompletion, but he was sacked. I think he sacked Nick Mullins at the time, and then he got one in the NFC Championship game. So I bring back Tyson Alualu. There's not many other guys out there. Brian Monet's out there, very big nose tackle. But I don't know. We need somebody to replace Kyle Peko. Pat O'Connor's not it. He's not bad. He's just a practice squad guy, in my opinion. He needs just a practice squad guy. He's not a Kyle Peko replacement. But I'm going to be watching him this game because with Mekhi Wingo being out, he's going to step up and play a lot, I have a feeling. So I'm watching him a lot. And he can also play on the edge. So I'm very curious to see if he plays on the edge a little bit this game. And my final player I'm watching this week is Isaiah Williams. There is a chance he could be a healthy scratch. I doubt it, though, because with Sione Vaki being ruled out with a knee injury this week, I do expect Isaiah Williams to be our kick returner and punt returner. Not punt returner, but kick returner for this game. And also potentially be involved in the receiving game. And my honorable mention, I wanted to put him in the top 5 once again. He's been in my top 5 Lions watch for these past couple of weeks now. Tried to put him in again this week, I just couldn't. And that is Allen Robinson. He's still going to be our wide receiver 3 probably for this game. It could honestly be any of the guys. It could be Williams, it could be Raymond, it could be Allen Robinson as wide receiver 3. I really don't know. For all I know, Allen Robinson could be wide receiver 5 heading into this game instead of wide receiver 3. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on Allen Robinson. Really has played a lot these past couple of games now. Has not had a reception. He had 1 target last week, so I'm going to see if he can get a little bit more involved this week and see if he can actually do something with Jaire Alexander potentially being out. He's not on this list, but I'm going to be keeping a look to Jared Goff just because he's a cold game. He doesn't play usually as good in the cold games. But it's Jared Goff. He's our quarterback. I do expect him to play very well, especially with Jaire Alexander being out, so that's why he's not on this list because I believe he's going to play well. So, One Pride Goal Lines. Is there anybody I missed on this list? Do you expect any other big guys to step up? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Pride Goal Lions. This is a huge game for the Packers. And also, forgot to almost mention, the breaking news not too long ago. This is coming from Adam Schefter. Pull it up here. A little bit of breaking news. Now this is completely off topic, but here it is. From Adam Schefter an hour ago. Probably a little bit longer when you're seeing this, but Adam Schefter on Twitter. The Lions continue making calls about pass rushers and have spoken to the Browns about former Pro Bowl defensive end Za'Darius Smith, who already has played in the NFC North for both the Packers and Vikings, according to sources. And Dov Cleveland actually put that out there earlier, and it's a little bit more depth and detail as well. Let me try to find it as well. ML Football also put it out there. There's just a lot of people put it out there. Also saw that Calais Campbell is receiving trade interest. If we trade for Calais Campbell, kind of gonna lose my mind. Just saying that. All right, I can't find it. It might have been from ML Football. ML Football, great. Go follow them. They put out great content over there. ML Football, breaking. The Detroit Lions are strong favorites to trade for 3-time Pro Bowl pass rusher Za'Darius Smith, per that account. Detroit has eyed Smith for a while now and had discussions with Cleveland over the last couple of weeks regarding the trade. So I fully expect Za'Darius Smith to be a Detroit Lion by the trade deadline. We've been talking for multiple weeks, apparently. Adam Schefter, all the big sources, ML Football, they have all put it out there now. That Za'Darius Smith even said he would like to come to Detroit and, reface the Vikings and Bears. And I feel like he fits the Detroit Lions and what we embody. So I'd love for Za'Darius Smith to be traded, and we need him. We absolutely need him. Hopefully we don't have to give up like a 4th or 5th round pick, but I don't know. Leave your thoughts, comments down below. One Pride Go Lions. Just had to put that on there because I thought that was some pretty big breaking news. So One Pride Go Lions. Big game this week. One last thing. If the Packers do win, they will take over the number 1 spot in the NFC North, and we will fall to the number 2 spot in the NFC North. So One Pride Go Lions. Oh boy, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. One Pride Go Lions.